And we are live. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, my friends, my viewers, my followers on Coach Angela Zilani. I'm going to put this on recording. Yes, now we are recording it. Hello, Isabelle.
Hello, Angela. How are you?
How are you? I'm great. I'm great. How is Quito?
Well, very cold at the moment, foggy.
Okay.
I think it's the worst winter we've had for a long time.
Wow, wow, wow. You're blessed. We are in the hot season right now. It's quite hot in Kenya. You can see how I'm dressed up.
I know,
I'm
and
even
look at
feeling
me.
overdressed. Wow. Okay, viewers, I'm joined by this lovely lady from Quito in Ecuador. Ecuador is in South America, and she is a women empowerment coach, and she is a great person that I've known in her work, in her coaching career. She is the founder and the CEO and the big boss of the Phoenix Coaching and Training. And I'm so excited. You can see on my face, I'm really so excited to have her on board. And I'm looking forward to this night's or this day's show. Our topic is shame. When I asked her what she's going to talk to us about, what she's passionate about, and she shared that topic, for me, it was like, wow, I've never thought of it as something that we can really bring it out to the people and explore more on it. And I'm so excited. I'm seated here just to learn like you people. So please join me to welcome Isa in this show, and feel free, kindly introduce yourself again, maybe better than I have done, and give us a little bit more about who you are. Welcome, Isa. Karibu, Isa.
Oh, asante sana.
Oh, wow.
Well, thank you very much, Angela. And so you can tell with my accent, I'm French, right? I've been in
Yes.
Quito for the past 12 years. I lived in England prior to that, but I felt that my time in England was finished, and I went backpacking in South America and fell in love with Ecuador, which is now my home. And in my previous life, I was an export sales manager, and I worked for a company in England, which philosophy really impacted me because all the key jobs were held by women. And then I decided, okay, if I manage to make a decision to leave from France to England, from England to Quito, Ecuador, I can help women to do the same. And I trained as a coach, and I created Phoenix Coaching and Training, and Phoenix as a phoenix to be reborn, yeah, from your ashes.
Wow.
So I work with women who need to get clarity about their lives. They get stuck, so we shed light on their negative patterns, limiting beliefs, get rid of them, so they can rise up and conquer the world as I did. So that's why. And
Wow.
today I wanted to talk about shame. So and thank you very much, Angela, for allowing me to talk about this subject, which obviously affects men and women, not only women. And I think it's very important because shame can really stop us from really living the life we really want to live, or being the person we want to be.
Wow. And I think it kind of resonates with even the name Phoenix, because being reborn is like forgetting who you've been and, bringing out a new you to the world. And I came across a quote that I can't remember who said it. Maybe if you know, you would tell me that the biggest room for improvement, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. And that is actually being reborn, improving and becoming something different from what you were yesterday. When we learn, we keep changing. When we change, we become different, and we do different. We do different things. We expect better things. So shame being our topic today is like a beginning for us to start looking deep into ourselves and seeing what is it that I've been ashamed of, and what is it that maybe has been affecting us women and also men, because it doesn't choose. It's it's for all of us. So maybe you can carry on in introducing to us what you have prepared for us about shame.
Well, thank you very much, Angela. And yes, when you start changing, your environment changes too. So, and becomes more positive. So you need to
Yes.
start from yourself first. So
Yes.
let's have a look at shame. So first, we get confused sometimes between shame and guilt, right? But there is a difference. Guilt is a feeling or a bad feeling about something you've done, right? Like an action.
Mhm.
You've made a mistake or you said something wrong to somebody, and that's when you felt guilt. Shame is different. Shame is actually feeling bad about who you are, about who you are as a person, right? So both guilt and shame can be triggered by the same situation, but they manifest differently and
Mhm.
they actually motivate different responses. So they are
Wow.
different. Guilt is about something you did, and shame about who you are.
Can we say that shame could come from maybe the way you look,
Yes.
um, your physical appearance, or the things you've achieved? Is it
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
something like
and
that?
but especially about the way you are. You are, for example, you are shy, or you are, or
Mm,
we're going to have a look at the different behaviors and where it comes from, because sometimes it might be about something someone said to you, and you took it so
yes.
personally, then you got blocked on that, and every time you are in that situation, it does trigger shame. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it,
Yeah. I think so. And
yeah.
also sometimes the people we associate with, because
Yes.
that's like where you are in your life,
Mm-hmm.
that defining who you are at that moment.
Yeah. Toxic
Yeah.
people as well. Sometimes we have to do like a bit of cleaning and cleansing. So and having a look at our relationships, people around us, and just like,
Yeah.
okay, who helps
I
me?
call it detoxing, or
Exactly.
decluttering. Declutter
Declutter.
even people.
Yes, definitely decluttering. Just like
Yes.
making sure that you're surrounded by people who are positive and who will support you, instead of spending time with people. I call them vampire. They're going to drain your energy out. They are just going to put you down, and you're going to feel even worse. So that's for
Mm-hmm.
sure. So just
Wow.
to give an example about the difference between shame and guilt. The guilt is,
Mm.
for example, in thinking that your failure was the result of a poor decision. Okay, you made a poor decision, you feel guilty. But the shame is, in a way, in thinking that your failure was the result of your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So Angela, tell me, let's have a look at shame now. What is shame? So, how would you define shame? Because obviously, everybody's got a different experience in life or different experiences, and we have a perception of shame which is totally different from one person to the next. So, what is your definition of shame?
I think for me, shame comes in at a place where we care.
Mm-hmm.
When that's why it's easy for people to let's say use drugs with strangers, but not with their family members, because with their family members they care, but
Mm-hmm.
out there they don't care because they know they will not be judged. But where they care, is where they can try to be nice and good. And so I think shame is something that we know we are doing wrong. We know that this is not something that I'm supposed to be doing, but somehow it's become a habit. It's become addictive. It's become a kind of part of me, and I don't know how to get away with it. I mean, away from it. So I choose to do it away from the people that I care about. So if there's something that you do with people that with some people and you can't do it with others, I think that's it says that there's something you're ashamed of. It's a place of shame.
Okay.
Yeah, so that I think that's how I look at it, because I think how to define who you are is who you are, you truly are, even when you're alone, when those you care about are not watching. That is the exact person you are. So because you're ashamed of yourself, then you tend to sugarcoat who you are when you're with the people that you love, you care about, but you're totally a different person that the people who care about you and you care about don't even know who you are. So it's a good place for us to ask ourselves, what is it that I'm ashamed of? Why am I ashamed of this? And why is this thing controlling me? Yeah, I think that's how I can easily define it.
Exactly. It's like having a mask, and being a different person. That's for sure.
Yes, being in a mask. Yes.
Shame is painful for people who are experience shame, and but they are different from anger and fear. I mean, fear we can get paralyzed, anger we can get paralyzed too, and shame too. But it's different because anger you can express it as well, like being like explosive. We can tell on your face, right? When you're afraid, you just withdraw. And shame is more discreet, and it's sometimes difficult to find the to detect it, really, to find it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Angela and our audience, Brené Brown. She's a researcher at the University of Houston, and she wrote a book on shame. And I like her definition. She said that shame is an intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love and belonging. Because we feel like we're unworthy, we stop loving people and being loved, allowing people to love us, right? Because we're afraid. We don't belong, we don't create connections with other people.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at some behaviors quickly, and we will go a bit deeper. So people who feel shame tend to adopt different behaviors, like a craving for perfection. They want to be perfect because they're so ashamed of who they are. They are, like we were talking about, having a mask on, being different and being perfect. They tend to criticize themselves all the time, just like, no, you have to be more, you have to be better than you are. It's just like criticizing all the time. They tend to deny their own needs. They are people pleasers. They put people first over them. They will just say, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm ashamed of saying no, right? But listen, you can always say no to somebody, and it's not going to create a conflict, because you can just say, well, first you can say, I'm going to think about it, and you've got time to find an excuse you don't want to do it. You can say no, but offer a solution, and you might be surprised. Maybe people will say, you know what, you're right, your option is much better. So don't be afraid of saying no.
Yeah, and I think no is a complete sentence as it is. No, full stop. No explanations.
Exactly.
You don't owe anyone explanations. You just need to be clear that it's a no.
Exactly. But sometimes when it's the first step, we always try to justify ourselves, just to say,
Yes.
yeah, but I need an excuse. So what excuse am I going to give, right?
Yeah.
So you can always say, okay, I don't want that, but I want that, like giving an option
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
see. And if the other person says no, it's just like, well, in that case, it's a no, and that's no, full stop, no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's kind of kinder to give the explanation than to leave it, open like that. To leave it closed. It's no,
Mhm.
and that's it. So
But
I think,
sometimes people take it
mhm,
badly. I mean, the other person might take it badly. So that's why if we
yeah.
find a way to just say, okay, I agree, I disagree to do that, but I would like to do something else. And so you give an option, and
Mm-hmm.
in a way you don't feel as bad. You don't feel like ashamed of saying no. And the other person can just say, well, yes or no from their side. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Right. Okay. Kindly go on.
So, there are two very strong behaviors related to shame is isolation. Isolation. People who are ashamed, they tend to be isolated. They don't create connections. They don't go and make friends, for example. And you can tell sometimes people, like kids being ashamed, they are just like on the playground, and they are just in a corner, and they play on their own, right? Because they are so afraid of being judged that they'd rather be on their own. And as
Mm-hmm.
and as an adult as well, somebody being ashamed won't take any risks, will stay in the comfort zone, right?
Yes.
And they will, and both, like the kids or the adult, they will just be withdrawn, right?
You're right. Yeah. They
Uh-huh.
keep to themselves because,
Exactly.
and that's what I was saying about the people that we care about. We tend to, but the isolation is that we want to stay away from the people that care about us, or the
Mm-hmm.
people that we care for, because we know that what we are doing could hurt them. So we prefer to hide, to keep it away from them.
Yeah, it's a way to protect them in a way. We
Yeah.
feel that we are protecting them from
Yes, it is. It's just a weird way of protecting them.
exactly. It's really weird, but in a way, it's the way it is, and that's why another behavior which is has a very very powerful impact is addiction, as you were talking about, and this addiction is a way to fill in the emptiness people feel. They don't want to be hurt. They don't want to feel right. So they
Mhm.
fall into an addiction, which could be, I don't know, alcohol, like smoking, sex, internet, anything which will, in a way, fill in that emptiness they've got, and therefore the shame will be less overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a way of finding solace,
Uh huh.
yeah, from a drug, from the act, from, all these addictive things. So
Mm-hmm.
addiction is a way of, we're trying to cure the pain
Exactly.
or to cure something,
Uh
but
huh.
it's actually the wrong thing.
Exactly. And as
Yeah.
well, you can connect in a different way because it's a different personality. You will be with
Hmm.
somebody who will be drunk and you will be totally different. You will be
Yeah,
somebody who takes drug. You take drug and the connection is different.
you're
So,
right. Yeah. And in the real sense, we are not really curing anything, because when you look at an addict, it's not just the alcohol,
no.
it's not just the drug, it's not just the sex or the pornography or whatever it is that you're addicted to. There's something deeper that
Yes.
goes on that has affected that person. So
Uh-huh.
one thing that an addict should do is to ask them, ask even themselves, what
Yes.
really
Mhm.
happened to me? What really
Exactly.
happened to me for me to be able to use this thing as medicine?
Yeah. In a way,
You
it's like
know?
a cover up. It's like a cover up, putting
Yeah.
like a lid on top of something which hurts. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and we are humans are very good at doing that, doing like oh, it hurts, I don't want to know, I put it under the carpet, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But it will come back, and sometimes even worse, so we might as well face it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've realized that even through my own experiences in life, that any pain that is never dealt with or cured never goes away.
No.
Never. So something that happened to you when you're 3 and you still recall it, you don't deal with it, it's affecting you one way or the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. True. So it's good to really look for the healing, the cure, the
Exactly.
real cure. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, to go a bit deeper, we were talking about behaviors, but I want to show a little bit how shame shows up, right? Well, when we feel unattractive, when we feel like we don't like our body, we don't like our nose, we don't like our ears, we don't like our love handles, right? But that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us so the beauty of being human, right? So that's something when people are just like, oh no, I'm not going to wear that dress or this color or this pair of trousers because look at that. Well, no, I don't like myself. They blame themselves, for example, for being a victim of sexual, physical, or emotional abuse. It's just like, shh, don't tell anybody. Just like we don't want anybody to know because they're going to think that it's my fault or I attracted it. So and same in domestic violence, sorry, where people just say, shh, don't say, don't, right? And it's something which is better to talk about, to deal with it, because as we were saying, it's going to go bigger, and the shame is going to be even worse, and we're going to just withdraw and forget how beautiful as a being we are. So feeling like an imposter as well. We are ashamed, and sometimes it's just like, no, they're going to find me out in that new job. They're going to find out that I'm not up for the job. But if they've chosen you, you are. And if there is something you don't know, ask. Just ask other people. Don't
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
afraid of saying, you know what, I don't know, and I would like to learn. So we can't know
Yeah.
everything. We can't know everything, right?
There's when you were talking, I just recalled something that I went when I was researching more on this, and I realized that in my life I have looked so much when because of my through my when working on myself for my healing, I've looked so much into things that have happened to me and things that I've been ashamed of in the past. And that has been my healing, looking at them, facing them, and looking for solutions. But I haven't really looked so much in my past with pride, like I've been proud of this, I've done this, even from my childhood. I've
Mm-hmm.
remembered things that my caregivers, my teachers,
Mm-hmm.
um, even villagers, sometimes my parents, because of course they are not perfect, so they've had also their own journeys. So things that have also been put in me, and I've looked at the negative things, but I've not really been so keen in looking at the good sides, the
Mm-hmm.
good experiences. And I think one way of shunning down or uh, let's say shrinking that
Mm-hmm.
that shame and that guilt and that pain is looking so much into the positives. And when you start looking again, now yes, you faced the challenges, the pain, whatever you went through, but you still have the power to still heal yourself by looking at the positives. What are the the good things that have been happening in my life. And when you look at where you are, you realize that the positives are more, because even the negatives have been lessons.
Totally.
Because you cannot really be who you are without the experiences that you've gone through. You have to accept all of them, because if with the experiences that you've had, or let me speak about myself, with the experiences that I've had, they have led me to becoming a coach. And they are crazy bad experiences, some of them really bad experiences, others have been good. But when I look at the negatives, I should also be proud that I've managed to beat that. And the pride of now converting the negative into a positive. So that way the guilt diminishes, and the pain diminishes, the shame diminishes. And then now I start becoming more proud of myself. So I think as we so much face the shame and what happened to us, it's good also to learn to convert what happened to ourselves to the positive.
I totally agree. And actually, my next step was to talk about the negative way we see ourselves, and instead of changing it to a positive, as you were saying, when we say not being ... enough, right? And good enough, smart enough, beautiful enough, funny enough, right? But what is enough? What is enough,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the way you were talking about looking at the positive side, what am I as enough, right? I'm funny enough, I am smart enough, right? So looking at the different perspective of the negative, changing it into the positive, right?
Yeah.
As I said, good enough. What would be good enough? I'm asking your audience to just sit down and just think about it. What is good enough? And when we say not good enough, but according to whom? To what?
To our standards.
The only standards we need to be aware of is ours, not others.
Yes.
Because usually it's from external, right, standards. So it's just like, okay, what is good enough for me? What is what would be enough as to be as a person for me, not the others. And it's exactly the same with doing enough, not doing enough. When people put pressure on you and so you feel ashamed and you just say, okay, I haven't done it, they're going to kill me. So but at the end of the day, you are the one who will put the limit, saying, I've done it the best way, and I'm happy with it. So
You're right.
We feel as well, as I said, pressured to be perfect as well, not only doing for others but doing for ourselves, and putting like a high standards, or we've been told to work to high standards. And we tend to sabotage ourselves, with a shame. And it's just like, I can't do it. I'm ashamed. I can't take that job. No, or I procrastinate, right? Because it's easier to procrastinate than to achieve it, right? We feel embarrassed when we are ashamed, right? Sometimes we blush.
Yes.
Sometimes we just withdraw. And I've got some examples. And for example, you go shopping and you realize that your credit card is not working. Everybody around can hear, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm going to think that I've got no money. Well, everything starts like going on and on and on. Rejection, you I don't know, you fancy that guy, and you just think, oh wow, I could go out with him, but I'm afraid that if he's going to reject me, I'm going to be embarrassed. And it's just like, okay, but bear in mind that no, if that guy says no, well, no is new opportunity, right, to start with.
Yes.
Then if he says no, it means that at the end of the day, there is somebody else for you somewhere else. right? And
Actually, I
probably
know, yeah, I know gets you closer to your yes.
exactly. And the next time might be yes. And if that guy said yes, actually, where the magic? So instead of staying in this shame and this space of embarrassment, take the plunge, try it, see
Hmm.
where it
Hmm.
goes.
Yeah,
Don't stay in that comfort zone for you, but just like expand it, because that might be the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, right?
yeah.
So that's
No,
when the magic starts.
mm-hmm. When you were talking about no, I was just thinking about the people who have said yes to me and they were wrong.
Hmm.
I wish they said no, you know?
Exactly. Not to
Yeah,
waste
so a
time.
no is really a good thing.
Uh-huh. Because you
Yeah.
wasted, in a way, you wasted your time because you could have been available to meet somebody else, for example,
Yes. Yes.
and that, the other person as well. So yeah, sometimes it's better to say no, and it's not like hurting the other person. It's just saying, I'm not the right person for you, but you will find
Yes.
the right person.
Exactly. True.
So another example as well of embarrassment, when we are in meeting, business meeting, family meetings, and not giving our opinion, thinking, oh, I'm not going to say anything because they're going to think it's stupid, right?
Hmm.
But, I always remember that big inventions started with crazy opinions, crazy things, way of thinking. So why not?
Yeah.
That might actually trigger something in the conversation where other people will say, oh, wow, thank you for that because I've never thought about it. That's a different angle, different
Yeah.
perspective. So that's sometimes I know it's hard to speak in front of
Hmm.
everybody. That's for sure. But just
Yeah.
try it once, try it twice, and it's going to be very easy. It's going to be easier.
Yeah. On that point, I think shame drains people emotionally. And when
Mm-hmm.
you're emotionally drained, you cannot bring out the best of yourself.
That's
So
true.
you always feel like you're judging what you're thinking, you're judging, and when once you judge what you're thinking, you just know for sure that other people are going to judge what you are going to say or what you're planning to say. So you hold back, and by
Exactly.
holding back, you're denying yourself the chance of bringing out the best of yourself. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's something that it's an emotion that we really have to work on eliminating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, to accept it, embrace it, and manage it.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, where does shame come from? And it's usually from past experiences, in your childhood and as an
Mm-hmm.
adult. And the first one is being compared. Compared to your sibling, compared to a colleague, compared to somebody close to you, and just thinking, I'm not. I wish I were them. But in a way, we are so unique. Things they have as qualities, right? They
Yeah.
don't have yours. So it's just like being complementary. We have to accept that we are not perfect because perfection doesn't exist. But
Mm-hmm.
we are unique, and comparing ourselves to others is like we're setting like failure to start with, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
get
True.
inspired get inspired by
Mm-hmm.
others, just saying, okay, oh, I wish I could do that. I like what he did, I'm going to do the same, right? Fair enough,
Mm-hmm.
get inspired,
Yeah.
but don't compare yourself.
Yeah. And I think one way of um, narrowing the gap of comparison, even for you to compare yourself with others, is always seeing the good in you.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrating yourself, looking at the good things in you, not, and even about you. So be the first person to look at the good the good sides about you. Get out of you and look at you like you're seeing in the mirror. physically, of course, physically not, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, just detach yourself from yourself and look at yourself keenly. You will see so many good things about yourself. So that way, then you know that I have something that others don't even have, and I have something to bring out to the world. So comparing yourself with others is just denying yourself the truth.
Exactly. Sometimes we feel shame because we were scolded for making mistakes as a child, Don't make a mistake, right? But making a mistake is part of learning. People who don't make mistakes, for me, are people who don't do anything, right? So,
Yes.
and that's something I was told. That's something I was told because I made a mistake one day when I was working in sales, and somebody said to me, "Well, yeah, but I mean, you did it the best you could. You made the mistake. You're going to learn from it, but don't beat yourself over it because everybody makes mistakes, and that's the way you learn. Obviously,
Yeah.
don't make the same mistake over and over again. So learn from it. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes."
That's true.
As a child, you make a mistake, you get it like recorded in your mind, and suddenly you are in that situation where you are a bit challenged, and you're just like freeze and are ashamed because you go back to what triggered it in the first place. You made the mistake, you got scolded, and then happens again, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when you get shame. So if you allow yourself to be yourself, right? And making mistakes and just forgive yourself about it, shame will disappear. Look it at
Yeah.
a learning curve.
Yeah.
When you are,
When you
yeah,
forgive yourself, you give room for yourself to also be able to forgive others, because forgiveness comes from compassion, and it also comes from the desire to gain, the desire to, you're gaining something bigger. Because when you don't forgive, it's like drinking poison and wishing the other person could die.
uh-huh.
So if you don't forgive yourself, you're drinking the poison so that you die. You're killing yourself even faster.
Exactly. And,
So
and at the end of the day, you kill yourself because you poison yourself, but you don't poison the other person. And the other person
exactly.
will don't even know that you are in that space, of emotional space. So,
Yeah, and even if they know, sometimes they don't really care,
exactly,
and
they
they're
don't
not
care.
at a place where they will come to apologize. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good to be strong enough to even forgive the other person without them even knowing that they did you wrong. Some have done you wrong and they don't even
No.
understand what you're talking about, you
Mm-hmm.
know? What is
Yeah.
this you're talking about? What did I do to you? Actually, I remember somebody who did so much to me, my ex, who made my life, from a thriving life to a broken person. And he would, when I talk about it much later, he would ask me, "What did I do to you? What is it
Mm.
that I did to you that was so?" And I'm like, "Are you human? Can't you see? Can't you feel? Are you really a human being? Or what are you?" But then I learned that it's for me to forgive. It's going to be my own gift to myself.
Exactly.
So that way, slowly, I learned how to forgive, to be compassionate with myself. And also, after now forgiving myself, knowing that I've had my own journey of mistakes and all the things that I've done, and all this letting it go, letting the shame go, becoming vulnerable enough to accept that I can share my story. And
Mm-hmm.
that way, I also got frozen a little bit.
Okay, I'm back. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it's true what you said. By being vulnerable, it helps, and that's something we're going to see in a minute how to overcome shame.
Oh.
But to go back to where that comes from as well. You could be as well bullied at school. You know, being bullied at school. Some kids are bullied at school and about the way they look, the way they talk, the way they dress, and then it starts as a child and as an adult. You get like you feel like everybody's judging you, so you don't feel that confidence to go and fight for your dreams and your life. Um, and feelings, I mean, in general, we don't want to show our feelings. As you were saying, being vulnerable helped you. But when you've grown in a house where you were told, don't show your feelings, hide them, be strong, don't cry, right?
Wipe those tears away. I do not want to see those tears.
Exactly. And when you're sad, then you keep everything inside and you're ashamed of sharing it. You know, how many people you ask how they are, and they tell you, "Oh yeah, I'm fine," and inside they are so sad, right? Because they're ashamed of saying it. Because as well, according to our society, we have to be positive all the time. Well, no,
Yeah.
you know,
Or
sometimes
appear positive.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So sometimes, I mean, I've I've had a bad week this week, and some people are just like, "Are you okay?" No, I'm having a bad week today, this week, and I'm just like, "Okay, well, I'm working on it. I'm accepting the feeling, but I'm not going to say I'm happy if I'm not. I've decided." So, and it's fine. It's actually fine to do that. It's fine to be seen as vulnerable. Oh, Angela, you're frozen again.
I went frozen again. I don't know
Yes.
what's happening with my Wi-Fi.
Well, you're back. I can see you now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And there is another thing: being criticized all the time gives us shame, because obviously we feel that we are not good enough. So being criticized as a kid or even as an adult, just like, oh, you're not going to do it. Why are you trying? You're not going. You're going to be to fail anyway. So because you're not smart enough, or because you don't study enough, and even adults as well. I mean, when I was working in sales, you know, being compared as well, you know, to generate competition, which is unhealthy anyway. Just saying, hey, look at him. He's achieved his goals this month. What about you? Right? And it was
Yeah.
underneath, right? Not even like direct criticism, but underneath. So, as you said, to overcome shame, Angela, is to accept it, to acknowledge it. For example, acknowledge it, where when you feel shame, just like acknowledge it. Just say, okay, yeah. Acknowledge, accept the shame, just shame, and track the sensation. So let's have a look in detail. When you feel shame, then take a pause and analyze the situation and the sensation. For example, you say, okay, I feel shamed, I recognize it, right? And I accept that I am in that space. But ask yourself, what do you feel, right? Where do you feel it in your body? Is it because you blushed? Did you get like warmth in your body? Did you, I don't know, like acknowledge it and try to find out what triggered it. By asking yourself, okay, is it the first time it happened to me? And I bet you that it's not, right? And if it's not, look back at your life and try to identify when it happened.
Yeah.
Is it because you were with the same people? Or the situation, I don't know, your boss asked you to do something and you're not really sure and you feel ashamed of saying no, or because you want to go home and you feel ashamed of saying no. Have a look if there is a pattern. And based on that, you can start looking at the shame. You are saying being vulnerable, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Be vulnerable, but only with people you really trust.
Uh-huh.
People you can open up to, and they're not going to talk to the neighbor about what's going on. And people who have empathy. Surround yourself with positive, supportive, and empathetic people.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because by the fact that you open up and you talk about the situation and how you feel, you're going to release the emotion. You're going to, in a way, to share it, right? So you're not going to be alone, and then you might get a solution. Somebody might just say to you, I've got a solution for you. But when I
Yeah.
was talking about empathy, and I'm going back to Brené Brown because she was talking about the antidote of shame, she says that the antidote to shame is empathy.
Mm.
Because I can bet that if I talk to you about shame and experience of mine, you're going to say to me, well, it happened to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, she says that the most powerful words one person can say to another are, me too. I've been there. So the fact that you share and
Yeah.
are vulnerable, it's a way as well to get help and people giving you maybe a different angle of
Mm-hmm.
seeing the situation. Focus on the solution. That's what you were saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at the past. Focus on the solution instead of the problem. And that's usually what we do. We just like, problem, it happened, and we go over and over and over again this situation. But find a solution because it's more productive to start with. You don't
Yeah.
spend so much energy, as you were saying, when you're ashamed of something. It drains you, right?
Yeah.
It sucks your energy out. And the fact that your mind is going to be working for a solution, it's not going to focus on the problem. So you are in the movement. You
Mm-hmm.
are looking for something else. And the last one is to work on yourself. Yourself, two words, right? Self as a
Mm-hmm.
person. And the first self I'm going to talk about is compassion. Be
Okay.
compassionate. Be compassionate.
With
Talk
yourself.
kindly to yourself as if you were talking to a friend in need, right? Because when we have a friend coming around saying, oh, you know what, I've done that and I'm blaming myself, we open the door, we tell them to sit down, we offer them like a hot chocolate to comfort them. We talk about the situation. Why can't we do the same with ourselves? Right?
Yeah.
Interrupt your inner critic as well. You know, when you've got that little voice saying blah, 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 blah. Well, just say, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I don't want to hear you today. Allow
Yes.
yourself to make mistakes and learn
Mm-hmm.
carefully about that. Maintain this positive self-talk. Okay, well, today I made a mistake. Tomorrow I won't make the same one because I learned from it.
Yeah.
And think about yourself first, right? You're in that
Mm-hmm.
space of shame. Take the time for you to get out of that space and surrounded
Mm.
by people and being nice to yourself, doing something for yourself. What about self-esteem as well? Work on yourself.
Mm.
Self-esteem. Who are you? Sometimes we don't know who we are, and that's
Yeah.
something as well you mentioned is I would invite your audience and yourself is to make a list of your qualities, your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you were saying, we focus on the negative. Why can't we focus on the positive?
Yeah.
Right? What are my qualities? What are my strengths? Why do people say about me good things about me? What do they like about me? Right? What do I
Mm.
like about myself? Could be
Yeah.
physical, it could be emotional, spiritual. What do I like about myself?
Mm-hmm.
And I would invite you and your audience to do that, but in different different parts of your life. Like as a mum, what are my qualities? As a spouse, in sport, at work, and I bet you're going to be very, very surprised because we always tend to focus on the negative, but actually we've got so many positive skills. And
Yeah.
based on that, we've got the self-confidence we can work on, which is like trusting our abilities, right? Self-esteem is being, confidence is doing. So same again.
Self-esteem is being,
And
confidence
self-confidence is
is
doing.
doing.
Look at what you've achieved in the past. You achieved in the past. All the difficult situation you overcome. You've overcome, sorry. Make a list of them. Make a list of them. And next to each of them, write the skills and the abilities you have acquired. And do it the same way in your personal life, in your professional life, in your sport life, and have a look. And I'm going to tell you that you've got more skills, you've got more qualities and than weaknesses. So to wrap up, like to overcome shame, accept the shame and track the sensation. Be vulnerable with the people you really, really trust and are empathetic. Focus on the solution of the problem. Try to find out where it comes from. It might be from childhood, and so focus on the solution and work on yourself.
Wow.
That's what I would say about overcoming shame. What do you think, Angela? Have you got any other tips?
Oh, that is awesome. You are great. I thank God that I had you today, because I wouldn't have had it brought out better than now. And my take home was that confidence is doing, and self-esteem is being, and the fact that we have skills sometimes that are not recognized, but writing them down will make us now be able to look deep into our, to know that, oh, there are these skills that I have that I didn't know that I had. I've never thought of writing down my skills. And another thing that maybe I can add on to that is that we need to write down things that we are proud of. And for me and my audience, I would love to encourage and challenge each one of us to write down at least 10 things that you are proud of.
That's it, you're back.
Oh, yes. I'm back.
Yes, you were saying about being proud of, but not only being proud of doing, but proud of who we are, right?
Who we are, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the difference. So I've got some challenges, for your audience, if they are ready, to expand that comfort zone. I know that the first step is always the difficult one, the second less difficult, and then it becomes like nature, right? Second nature.
Yeah.
So be vulnerable. The first one is be vulnerable and tell someone you really trust your biggest fear, regret, or desire, or the three of them, right? Ask a question you do not know the answer to, even if you think that it's a trivial question, like it's a stupid question. As long as you don't know the answer, for me, it's not a stupid question. People say that, oh, but that's a stupid question. Yeah, because you know the answer. But if I don't know the answer, for me, it's not a stupid question. And do not apologize. And do not apologize for not knowing the answer. Right? Sometimes when we're ashamed, it's just like, oh, I'm really sorry. No, bing, bing, we don't use that. Can you please help me and explain to me why you're doing this that way? Because I don't know, right? No shame in asking. So challenge number 2. Number 3, sing a song while walking down the street. I can tell you that people are going to look at you, but just say, oh, wow, that person is happy,
Wow, it's contagious.
Exactly. I'm going to sing along too.
Yes.
Tell someone you love something positive about them. And if it's out of character, sometimes we don't give our opinion. That's what I was saying. So, for example, when I connected this morning, I just said to you, "Oh, you look nice. You've changed your hair, right?" Well,
Yes.
tell something. Look at the smile. Look at your smile. So, if you say something nice to somebody and you really mean it, obviously, not saying for the sake of it, you're going to get like a big smile, something really, and you're going to get more confident. You could dress differently, you know. Sometimes we are very formal, especially in some sectors, and flashy colors. Change your colors and see how people respond, right? They will probably
Yeah.
say, "Wow, you look nice." Suddenly, people are looking at me, and I don't feel ashamed of doing something different.
Yeah.
And the last one, smile and say hello to 5 strangers every day for a week. Ta-da-da!
Smile and say hello. Smile is, men, and they tell me that nowadays I don't see men who ask us out. And I ask them, what are you communicating with your facial expression?
Exactly.
A man would just smile at you and you're like, really? Why are you talking to me? Why are you smiling at me? What did you, the face that you're wearing,
Uh-huh.
saying all these nasty things.
Okay, but what you can
And
do
I
in that
think I went
case,
frozen again.
you can start a conversation in a when you are queuing for something, for example.
Yeah.
Or you can start a conversation in the lift. You're just like talking about the weather. Oh God, today, what a horrible weather. And then start, asking them, please, what time is it, please? And then start the conversation like that, right?
Yeah. Or just smile back.
Exactly.
That will give that person courage to even speak to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But sometimes we have been hurt so much that we carry the pain with us and we cannot see anything good with anyone else or any other man, any other human being. We just are carrying that pain in our backs, on our faces. It's written all over. So you become that unapproachable person just by the way you've communicated with your body language.
But if you work on
Yeah.
yourself and you look at forgiving, that's when you're going to change that.
Yeah. Wow. I think for me, the biggest challenge in those, there are 5 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest challenge in this one is singing while walking in the streets.
Okay. Wow. So,
All these others I've done,
okay.
but singing while walking in the streets, I've never, but I will do it. I will do it.
Okay. And
And I'll
let
give
me
you
know.
feedback.
Let me know how it works,
I will. I will.
Oh, and for your audience as well, if they want to get in touch with you or after the live, put some comments on how the challenges are going. I would love to know, right?
Wow. Yes.
So I
Yes.
would really love to know how it's going on, and if there are other challenges they've decided to expand their comfort zone and start something different. Write it under in the comments. That would be nice. That would be nice to see how you've managed to overcome your shame.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you so much, Isabelle. I'd like you to now at this point maybe tell our viewers where they can find you,
Mm-hmm.
what you can help them with, because we have to grow our wings, and I would love for you to grow your wings through my channel.
Oh, thank you very much, Angela. Well, they can find me on phoenixcoachingtraining.com. That's my website. I'm going to send you the details of my WhatsApp as well, so people can contact me on WhatsApp or even email as well. They can find it on my website. And actually, I was talking about working on self. On the 10th of March, I'm starting a program based on self, and we're going to talk about self-compassion, self-confidence, self-assertiveness, and it's based on 8 different parts, because we want people to feel more confident, to get rid of their fears, the shame, right, and being more confident, assertive, compassionate. They stop self-sabotaging, and I'm doing that with my friend Lisa, and we're starting on the 10th. So if you're interested, contact me, and on Phoenix Coaching training.com, and there is an email which will be redirected straight to me. So thank you very much, Angela. I really enjoyed talking to you, exchanging ideas, experiences. So yes.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. It's all mine. It's always good to connect with you. It's always good to do a show with you. And I'm thankful that I did not lie to my audience. I promised a good show, and it was a good show. I enjoyed myself. I have learned, and I'm glad that my people have also learned, and I'm looking forward to bigger, better days to come. And for those who are watching, my name is Angela Nzilani. I am the CEO of and founder of Angelique Achievers, where we turn ordinary lives into extraordinary achievers through healing and personal development training. I'm your girl in healing, in your journey for healing, and I'm your healed healer. So I'm looking forward for many more other chances. Thank you once again, Isabelle. Please keep warm. We want to see you again.
Send me some sun and send me some warmth.
Oh yes, I'm going to export it for you, FedEx, through FedEx. I'll pack some for you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Bye for now, my people.
Bye-bye.
Bye.